What's up, day traders? This is Jason G with Responsible Day Trading, and this is your market weekly rundown. Today is Monday, the 29th of January 2024, and we're going to be checking out what's been happening today on the E-mini S&P 500 and what we can expect to see for the rest of this week. So as always, before we take a look at the markets, let's take a look at the news that is incoming this week. So if you don't know already, you go to responsibledaytrading.com and you will find the news section there. This is the schedule for the news for the week. You just have to set your filters for, in our case, US dollar. Also interested in high volatility only, so that's what you can see here. So this is what we can expect to see for the rest of the week. So tomorrow, Tuesday, we've got some news, basically news every day of the week. Wednesday's a big day with the Chicago PMIs, crude oil inventories is always a big high volatility day usually, and FOMC statement. Yeah, so it's going to get pretty wild out there, I imagine, on Wednesday. Thursday, some more news there with big news with the jobless claims, PMIs again. Friday, we also got a couple of news events here with the unemployment rates. So overall, lots of news events. Definitely want to be paying attention to these times, making sure you're stepping to one side if you're not someone that is used to trading news, waiting for the markets to calm down before you get back into it. So let's take a look at our charts. Okay, so we're looking at the E-mini S&P 500 futures markets. This is the ES contracts for March 2024. We're going to start by looking at the daily. That's how we usually start our analysis. We want to take a top-down approach and look at what's been happening in the markets on the big time frame here. So each one of these bars here represents 1 day in the market. So we're right up here at all-time highs of 49.50, and as you can see, we're approaching really close to this trend channel that I've marked out. I believe it's a pretty accurate trend channel. We've got a fair amount of respect in these areas here of support and resistance, dynamic support and resistance. Some significant pivots in this area here for the lower part of the trend channel, and it looks like we're stretching up towards that area that's very close to the top of the trend channel at around 49.70. We may just break straight through there and move to that incredible number of 5,000, never before seen in the S&P 500. So we definitely want to be paying attention to what happens when we get there. We might just bounce straight off of it. It's pretty unknown, but we could just break straight through and keep going. Another thing to pay attention to here is the divergence we have on these pivots here. So, you know, we can see that price is leading a lot higher than the MACDs are leading here. Let me just zoom in a bit for you. You can see we're lagging way behind, and we've got a bit of work to do in order to catch up with price. We could be running out of strength to the upside. We could be slowing down and seeing some signs of weakness. Right now, the BBs are fairly strong in color. They are just breaking outside of the Bollinger Bands, and the fact that this is a strong trend to the upside could mean that these BBs do break divergence and reset divergence and just continue and then catch up with price. So it's not a sure thing that this price action is going to really sort of fall off and get really weak and turn around and go back down, but I would not be surprised if it did take a dip around this area somewhere and then start to pull back maybe some point in the next coming days or week. Hard to say when. Come down to retest this area again. That's possible. That's one scenario, or we could just break straight through, maybe do something like, you know, move up, pull back to test the outside of that trend channel, and then either push on up, make an even higher high, or fell back into the trend channel and start to make our way down again to retest previous resistance areas. So we'll just pay attention, see what's happening, pay close attention to what the MACDs are doing, and you should be able to trade in the right direction. So moving on to the 28,657, the strength of this trend, look how far and wide apart the EMAs are. But price has been slowing down a little bit here. You can see for a couple days last week we were just pushing sideways here. This is around the 23rd, 24th, 25th, struggling to break out, and then finally today we get the big breakout to the upside. It's looking really strong. Look at these closes all the way to the top of the bars. Another hard close up on that bar there. And then let's take a look at what's happening with these BBs on the MACDs. We have used the zero line of support there, and then today we've finally broken out the Bollinger Bands, and you can see some significant strength on that move today to the upside. Big distance between the BBs indicating lots of strength. We are starting to see a bit of a color fade on our indicator here. This is the ADX built into the MACDs, and this shows a sign of potentially a change in the trend or a weakening of the trend, which aligns or corresponds with what I just explained the MACDs were doing on the daily with the divergence. So again, another sign here that this may slow down, may get a little bit weaker, and we might get some sort of pullback or a deeper pullback before the next move. I think market open tomorrow is going to be very interesting. As I said, there's some big news out, so I think it's going to get hairy out there, so pay close attention. It may not be a market environment that a lot of people are able to trade with, depending on your risk appetite and the type of stops that you're using. If you someone using small stops and you've got a really sort of wild range of price action going on, you know, it might be a day just to sort of sit in your hands or maybe trade sim. Let's see what happens. Sometimes it can go like that. Okay, I'm going to bring up the other charts together. Let's take a look at all of this. Quick look at the 4181. Just look at the strength of those bars. They're just really powerful. It's quite impressive. You know, you've got basically a parabolic move to the upside. And when I say parabolic, it's when it looks vertical like that. Usually you'll see a sort of angle on the price action there on the move, even in a strong trend. But when you're going vertically up like that, that is just incredible energy. All those closes to the top of the bars. Then we get the pullback. We get a solid flag reversal pattern there. See the tail, hard close up. And then we continue to the upside and just don't look back really. So have a closer look at what's happening on the trading chart that we use, the 1597. Again, you can see that strong wide EMAs to the upside. That ADX indicator really gave us a good signal here with the fading trend. It went all white, telling us that potentially is the end of this immediate move, that we might get a pullback or a change in direction. That's exactly what happened. We pull back. That's how powerful that indicator is. You can see same again there. End of that move, pull back, and this is something we really use, and we're starting to see that again happening, which aligns with the information that we were seeing on the higher time frames. We're starting to get the first signs of a change in the strength of that trend in the direction. Potentially we could get a deeper pullback here, and that's also supported by the fact that we're so far away from the EMAs. You know, price will always return to the EMAs. Sometimes it can take a long time like this, but at some point it has to pull back to the moving average. So, you know, the further apart we get, or the further away we get from those EMAs, the more likely it is to turn around and pull back, maybe find some support here, or just pull right down to the next slow EMA from the previous time frame over here. These EMAs are, the MACDs rather, are more aligned with what's happening with the immediate price action. So, you know, we've got the higher high on the MACDs as we have on the price, so we're not seeing any divergence at this point between these two pivots, but we are seeing divergence across the three pivots as a whole, right? So if you look at the major pivot over here, again showing signs of weakness, going in the opposite direction here with the BBs. So I really believe there's a potential for a pullback. Now that may happen pre-market, before we even hear the bell for tomorrow. Check out your charts, have a good look at what happens tomorrow before you get involved with the market. And as I say, I think tomorrow is going to be a really interesting day. High probability of a high volatility day. If it looks too volatile and the bars are moving too fast or too big for your risk tolerance, then I'd err on the side of caution and just stay away from that. You know, protect your accounts. That's the most important thing. Make sure you're able to trade another day. So that's it for the Market Weekly Rundown. And just to close this out, I just want to share with you guys that we do have a lot of great events coming up with RDT. Pay attention to your socials, look out for those emails and the newsletters. You can check it out on the website, but we will be having live market analysis and live classes on a weekly basis in both English and Spanish. So watch this space, it's coming very soon. We're really excited about that. It's going to be totally free. Also guys, if you didn't know already, we are live on our Discord server, so come and check us out. The invitation is in the description below. Let's just take a quick look at that now. So it's still a work in progress, but it's coming along really nicely. Everything's in here. We're still building up all the resources for you guys. It's going to be a great community. So you can see here on the traders charts, for example, our traders and students and other members like yourself sharing their charts, what they're actually doing. Got videos, got screenshots, and getting feedback from the different coaches. Some really great content on here if you're looking to improve or learn more about trading the way we trade, trading responsibly, and learning to flow with the market. This is the place to be. Section here for new traders. You've got our socials, educational areas, lots going on here. So love to see you in here. So that's it for the Market Weekly Rundown. If you have any questions, as always, please drop them in the comments below. And of course, we would really appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe. Take care, guys. Have a good week.